Some people can't sleep for days. However, this experiment just needs 3 days to get 100,000. This girl agreed promptly and did not sign her own contract, but she did not realize this was a life-threatening experiment. She was lying on the operating table when the professor leveled a revolver at her. Jane, confused, placed her touch on the wound, which seemed to have been injected. The lecturer explained to her that this chip tracks heart rate in real time. He then handed her a watch that produced zirconia poison by keeping a person alert for a long period. This hormone treats brain cancers. Jane will earn 100,000 as a contract if the chip hits 100. If Jane sleeps for more than 60 seconds during the trial, the chip will shut off, potentially causing excessive voltage and a heart attack. Don't worry if you forget to sleep, the watch will remind you in 60 seconds. Jane was afraid but consented to collect the $100,000 incentive in a beneficial manner. After the first night, her curatoxin reached 41. Jane struggled to wake up despite wanting to sleep and seeing the modest savings account balance. She unexpectedly discovered her grandma awake as she went for a stroll. Her grandma has been sleepless since she got the loan payment again. If she couldn't repay it, she might sleep on the street. Although Jane urged her grandma not to worry, she would. This is why she joined the sleepless experiment. However, her younger sister didn't listen. Jane carried the family's load. One day after she started school, somebody sat down. He gazed at her with passion. Jane was afraid to receive the watch back since the professor cautioned her not to discuss the experiment. Gwen was also known for not studying all day. Jane treated Gwen unfairly. This is when Gwen pulled out the watch. Jane suddenly learned she wasn't alone in this experiment. They invited 2 more participants. Sainer, a popular beauty blogger at school, is quite mischievous. Peach seems more trustworthy. He is a true gamer. Other than gaming, his world is empty. Each of these 4 may wake up simply. Jane was too stressed, and the other 3 were too enthusiastic and lively. They participated after one person introduced them. Nietzsche, an eager instructor, consistently helps kids in need. She got these 4 mischievous girls in trouble. Sainer live-streamed nightly to stay awake. Peach was obsessed with games and Gwen danced without going out. Jane alone was usual, going to school or working extra at the restaurant. Within 3 days, their curatoxin levels reached 100%. The professor kept his promise by awarding them 400,000 points with the chip. Peach instantly wanted to purchase gaming gear with the prize. Sainer created a VIP card at the spot to start caring for his ugly face. Gwen purchased a luxury dating watch, only Jane differed. She helped her granny pay off debt and purchased her massage equipment. Each of the 4 lost $100,000 fast. Additionally, they are university students. Their hunger for money intensified after experiencing it. Sainer promised to improve, whereas Gwen wanted a big automobile. Jane desired a new phone for her sister. So the 4 of them planned to do the sleep test again. Gwen assured us we could easily pass the first level. Who knows, the second reward step may be greater. Jane warned him not to become too joyful. The reward was prolonged sleeplessness. They forgot about this issue when it came to prize amount. Sainer was so excited about standing that he couldn't stop talking. The non-sleep state was their group's moniker. The group went to the lab the following day to meet with the professor and extract more curatoxin. The professor gave them 5 days to wake up consistently. The lecturer declared 500,000 for this experiment when they doubted they could finish. Knowing 500,000 made everyone think of the abyss. They didn't realize a catastrophe was looming. The first 2 days went okay, but the 3rd and 4th days were unbearable. Jane danced and shook to cheer herself up. The individual felt as lifeless as a corpse while trying to stay awake. At night, she heightened her vigilance, amplifying all noises indefinitely. The girl's voice offended and unnerved her. Finally, the sisters fought and split up. At school, she could sleep upright and experienced a nightmare. When her curatoxin level hit 100%, she would get the prize. The 4 of them had to get over it since sleeping would kill them. Gwen exercised on the basketball court to remain awake. Then a basketball sword passed. Gwen wanted to sleep, so she closed her eyes. Then her classmate woke her. As it rained, she heard a nightmare. A student claimed that she had no mother and the family was unhappy. Furious, Gwen sprang up and smashed the basketball that her classmate had dropped. However, the opponent said nothing. Monster-like stares greeted him instantly. Gwen checked her watch. The new curatoxin index was 47.1 day remained, but the curatoxin index was still below the norm. The 4 met. Gwen had the highest index. Zane assumed it was due to his exercising. Curatoxin levels rose as long as he maintained high vigor. To get 500,000 smoothly, the 4 of them tried harder. The 4 of them engaged in thrilling activities such as playing, singing, drinking, and dancing. You can't tolerate it? Pour cold water on yourself. They were sleepier after the intense excitement. They added additional stimulants to the wine and sour lemon for the fourth night. Zayn believed this was extremely risky and may kill. Gwen did not care that he breathed pure air since he was not frightened to die. Gwen quietly informed everyone Zayn found him insane. "We'll perish if we sleep tonight." Zayn also wanted to drink pure air, but the other two persisted. After starting a new, wildly entertaining activity, the levels of kuratoxin increased dramatically. But the adverse effects were also clear. Zaynor had a strong delusion that a pervert stalked her. Screaming, she fainted. When she fell, the clock began counting backwards 60 seconds. The friends attempted to wake Zaynor, but she was unconscious. Zayn rescued Zaynor's life instead of studying in an emergency. Thousands of pounds of hair fell away, and Zaynor woke up just in time. After 60 seconds of sleep, the chip behind their necks would detonate, causing a heartbeat. Due to the misunderstanding, everyone was very excited, and the kuratoxin reached 100. Everyone was still scared and advised the professor to stop this experiment since it drained Zaynor. The professor frequently declined, even encouraging them to go to the third round, which included a $1 million reward. However, the four were afraid and left the lab one by one. Only Zayn remained, but his comrades had departed, so she turned back and left. She didn't sleep for days, so the four of them went home and slept for 3 days and 3 nights like they passed out. After waking up, everyone around them revived. Thus, these pals joined the sleepless experiment. Zayn was relieved to leave the experiment, but she didn't expect her grandma, who was very sick, to remain in the special care room. Zayn was confused by the surgery's exorbitant cost. She was surprised when her sister pulled out a lot of money. When she viewed the photo on her wallet, she understood her sister had also participated in the experiment. Zayn was furious with her sister and said this experiment killed someone. She begged her sister to quit participating. Since her grandma was her sister didn't care. The sisters were upset and did not say goodbye easily. Her sister didn't return until late. Following her sister's hospital advice, Zayn went straight to the lab. As predicted, her sister was with the professor. She rushed to ask the professor why she was seeking her sister. The professor quickly disagreed and stated her sister participated freely. Her sister also said Zayn would profit. Zayn, furious, demanded that the professor remove her sister's chip or she would call the police. The professor didn't care since they signed the experiment contract. He warned Zayn that he would never remove her sister's chip if he didn't bring his pals back for the third trial. Her death is certain. Her sister suddenly learned she had done this experiment too. Zayn was furious and pulled her sister away, but her experiment had started. Zayn reunited with friends to rescue her sister. She hoped everyone could join the third experiment. The four returned to that scary lab. This time, they just need to go 10 days without sleep to get $1 million. To pass this exam, they can keep thinking of methods to stay motivated. Several disguised persons emerged Friday. Zayn saw his sister fall and the experiment failed. But now his sister supports her. Zayn knew everything was a cover-up. This is brain overload's peak. 2 boys battled about something. Zayn exited the room to approach the instructor for assistance but noticed images of everyone's surveillance and lab data. Since the instructor had introduced them to the experiment, Zayn concluded that her teacher was behind everything. The instructor arrived next to her and advised her to go immediately rather than startle Zayn. The instructor didn't rush after him. Zayn then informed everyone. They couldn't communicate outdoors since the instructor severed the signal. They had been awake for 7 days without rest. Gwen collapsed from exhaustion. Furthermore, the clock began counting backwards 60 seconds. He felt like his mother now. Finally, he grinned. However, Gwen exceeded the time restriction. The heart stopped too. After pushing him to the next room, the instructor grabbed his chip. It produces keratosin to treat brain illnesses. The instructor gently cut back the chip. In the next moment, a blow struck her. Gwen was still alive, so the other 4 ran to her. Zayn instantly used a heart-pounding gadget on the instructor after discovering his misbehavior. This device temporarily halts the heartbeat. The instructor might put it to the test. However, some don't know why this terrible lady did it. The instructor drew the blanket nearer to him. An obese guy was inside. The teacher's first love lasted 24 years. He loved researching keratosin. Because of this, he tested himself. Long-term sleep deprivation caused illusions. Thereafter, he became vegetative. The instructor discovered that keratosin may awaken the brain in a man's palm. Definitely worked. Therefore, the new instructor could not avoid fooling pupils in difficult situations to take the sleep test. She may acquire more keratosin to wake her sweetheart. The instructor didn't want to hurt anybody. She also took the exam. Sleep is her sole passion. Consequently, she plunged into an inescapable chasm. She even assaulted Duyan in order to succeed. She was still in love, so CNN whacked her with a brick. Duyan became comatose. People tried to wake her up within 60 seconds, but they were confused about how to do it. Duyan must die for this with few seconds remaining. Duyan's sister recalled the sacrifices Duyan made for the family. She feared losing her loved one. Duyan mysteriously awoke. Finally, everyone survived this disaster. This film is educational and meaningful. We must stick to our principles, live in the moment, and remember the original goal in a world full of individuals like ourselves. We should not sacrifice ourselves for a little gain. This video concludes. Make sure to subscribe, like, and push the notification bell to see new videos.